Today we are talking about one of the most important questions I always get from people who are thinking about buying their first home. Should I buy a home or should I buy a condo? That is the million-dollar question. Hey, it's Brendan Klaus, your favorite Seattle area realtor. Today we're talking about one of the most important questions that I get from everyone who is thinking about buying a home. Should I buy a home or should I buy a condo? If you've already bought or if you're thinking about buying, I want to know from you, put it in the comments now, what is better for you, a home or a condo? Let's dive right in. Today we're going to talk about the 3 pros and 3 cons of buying a condo and the 3 pros and 2 cons of buying a house. Stay tuned, you're not going to want to miss this episode and get every single pro and con that you can to make a decision that's right for you. If you're trying to decide between a house or a condo, you're in the right place. Stay tuned because we're going to go through the pros and cons of each today. Both houses and condos offer different pros and cons that can make a big impact on your life depending on how you want to live and your investment style. Today's video, I'll break down the key differences to help you make the best decision for your unique needs. If you like videos like these and want even more expert tips on real estate, be sure to hit the subscribe button to this channel and make sure you like this video. And without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so we're going to start with the pros and cons of buying a condo. Now let's start with a few of the big pros, my favorite things about condo living. First and foremost, living in a condo is going to be lower maintenance. So as a condo owner, you really are in charge of the walls in of your condo. That means you're not in charge of the rooftop, the windows, the siding of the building. That's all maintained by the HOA, the Homeowners Association. So you have a lot less to maintain. You have to take care of your floors, you have to take care of your kitchen, and obviously paint the walls if you want. But beyond that, there's a lot less maintenance for you to do as the owner. You can focus on enjoying your space without the hassle of yard work or major repairs. That's one of the biggest pros of living in a condo. The second pro of living in a condo is definitely affordability. So specifically in Seattle, where I am, to get into a condo, you could start anywhere from $300,000 to $350,000, which is on the lower end of the range for Seattle. Whereas if you're getting into a home, you're most likely starting around the $600 to $650 range. And if you want to be even closer into Seattle, you're probably starting around $800,000 or $900,000. And so the affordability of condo living is really a great entry point if you're just starting home ownership. If you just are getting into the market, maybe you have less money saved as a down payment, but you do want to invest in real estate, a condo can be a great option. Now, if you want to live close to nightlife, shopping, and restaurants, a condo gets you closer to that action. It is most often a little bit more accessible, less further away than a home might be. And so for the money, you are getting access to things like that, typically in a more dense area. This is one reason why I love condo living specifically. The third pro of condos are the amenities. So when you live in a condo building, you often have a lot of cool amenities, and that might be the reason you want to live in a condo. So you might have a rooftop with views. You may get views in general because you're on a higher floor. You might have a dog run if you have pets, or you may have a party room that you can rent out, or a rooftop lounge space. Some condos even have pools, and some even have rooftop pools. So these amenities, including things like a gym, are not something you'll get with a home. You're often not going to have the mass amenities that you have in a condo building because they're accommodating amenities for a lot of the people in the building, which adds a lot of value to your lifestyle if that's what you want, and you don't have to install them or maintain them on your own. Now, let's flip the script a little bit and talk about some of the less positive things if you're opting for a condo. If you can guess a few of the less optimal things, the cons of a condo, drop them in the comments right now. I want to know what you think they are. There are 3 we're going to go through. Okay, the negative number 1 about condos is the fees. Obviously, if you're in a condo, you're going to be part of a homeowners association or an HOA. That HOA is going to charge you monthly assessments that go towards maintaining the building and also special projects. Sometimes if a building HOA does not have enough money saved, they'll do something called a special assessment. That's actually where they assess each owner a certain amount of money to go towards a big project, like let's say replacing the roof. So there can be bigger bills that are outstanding that you do have to pay as a condo owner. The other thing about the fees, or tied in with the fees, is the HOA rules. So you're definitely going to have to follow HOA rules, things like how much noise you can make, or if you can even put down hardwood floors versus carpet. Stuff like that are going to limit the way you can live in a condo, so you have to be aware of those rules as well as the fees. Now, the second con or downside of living in a condo is definitely your privacy. So often you get big views if you're in a building that's high up, or you have a great amount of light because you could be higher up, but your privacy is going to be limited. A condo space is often going to be a bit smaller than a home, so just the square footage in general is smaller, but you also have neighbors typically on both sides, or at least one side. So you are sharing walls. Every time you go in and out of your condo, you're likely to see a neighbor because there are going to be multiple people in the building. And so privacy in a condo versus a home is going to be a lot different, and you might want to think about that if you're someone who likes to play really loud music or has a drum set or something like that. Now, the third downside of owning a condo is the investment. So a condo, while it is a really great way to get into the real estate market and own a piece of real estate, you are going to have probably a slower rate of appreciation on that asset than you would if you were living in a home. So for example, homes in Seattle appreciate really quickly over time, and condos are much slower to appreciate, or they have a lot more ups and downs in how much they're able to sell for. So if you're looking for an investment where you want it to grow rapidly and be able to resell it in 3 to 5 years, a condo may not be the right move for you because it's going to take longer for that asset to appreciate, to grow in value. That said, I have seen condo owners in downtown Seattle where they bought in a brand new building, and 2 years, 4 years later, the value had doubled. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but it is something to consider when you're thinking about where you want your investment to go. So lower barrier to entry in terms of the price, but also slower to appreciate over time. Definitely something to think about depending on your goals. If you're living in a condo currently, what's your favorite thing about condo life? Put that in the comments so everyone can see exactly what you love about living in a condo. For me specifically, I love condos in Seattle because you do get views typically of water or mountains, and I like the aspect of having a lot lower maintenance, being able to put the car away and just walk wherever I want to go. That's the biggest draw for me. Now stay tuned, we're gonna talk about the pros, 3 pros and 2 cons of living in a house. You're not gonna want to miss these. If you're looking for a place with a little more breathing room, let's chat about houses, because the number one benefit of living in a house is the amount of space you get. With a house, you don't have any shared walls or shared neighbors. You often have a yard and you own the land under your house. So while you're going to definitely be paying a bit more, you have that additional space. You might have more bedrooms, more square footage in general, where you can put in things like a home gym if you want. You might have your own private garage for storage if that's something you're looking for. Number 2, the pro of living in a house is going to be the opposite of the condo. It's your privacy. So in a house, when you have a yard, you're a little set back from the neighbors. You're going to have a lot more privacy if you want to spread out, if you want to use your yard, things like that. You won't have these common areas where you're necessarily seeing your neighbors all the time. You're going to have a little bit more freedom in terms of coming and going and being in your own private home. Now, obviously in Seattle, it is dense, so you do see neighbors from your current home. That said, there's often more trees, it's a little more lush in your yard, so you can have a little bit more privacy if you block out some of the views from the neighbors' houses like that. And third, the number 3 best thing about choosing a home over a condo is your investment. So homes in Seattle do appreciate a little more quickly than condos. So if you're looking for something for about 3 to 5 years, you may want to think about a home. Also, if you're thinking about renting the property out after you've purchased it down the road, like 3 to 5 years later, definitely a home could be a benefit, because that is something where you'll be able to rent it out a little bit more easily. You probably have a larger demographic of who's looking for that type of property to rent, especially if it's in a great school district or near a lot of great neighborhood amenities. This could be a way better investment for you over the long term. So it might be a better move for you to spend the money up front if you're looking for a great investment. Now stay tuned, let's go through the 2 cons of owning a house. Number 1, just like we talked about, is the cost of owning a house. So the entry level to get into a home, specifically in Seattle, is higher than it would be a condo, depending on the type of home you're looking for. You may need to spend a little bit more money to get that home that you want. And you also have to think about maintenance and repairs. So you're in charge of landscaping, if you need to do landscaping, cleaning your gutters, if the roof needs to be replaced. All of those items fall to you and you only. So not only are you paying for that, but you're also spending time on that. So that is definitely something that you want to be aware of and keep track of as you're thinking about what is better for you. Condo, very little work, easy to move right in most often. House, more work, more maintenance, a little more time too on your part. And last but not least, the second con of living in a house can sometimes be the location. So depending on your budget and what you must have in the house, you may need to move further outside the city in order to find that. So if you're someone who wants to be in a more dense neighborhood near the shops, restaurants, nightlife, you may not get that in a house because of the price that you're looking for or other amenities you're looking for in the house. So if you don't value necessarily being right in the thick of everything, that's when you could purchase a house a little further out. You're probably getting in a car to go most places, including the grocery store, and you're a little less in the hustle and bustle. This can be a good thing for some and a bad thing for others. So it just kind of depends. So let's recap. Condos are great if you want a low maintenance lifestyle, access to amenities, and a central location, but a little more limited space, fees, and regulations can also be drawbacks in a condo. Houses offer a lot more space, they offer more privacy, and the investment potential is a lot greater. But houses also come with the added responsibility of maintenance and higher upfront costs to get into the market. There's really no right decision that can be applied across the board. Ultimately, it's what's right for you depending on your unique lifestyle, your budget, and your long-term goals. I hope this video has helped make the differences crystal clear for you. If you need more support, whether you're leaning toward a condo or a house, buying your first home is a huge next step. So if you're thinking about buying in the next 6 to 12 months, just like other clients we've had, feel free to reach out over email or text. You can set up an initial call with us for free to talk about the process and your goals. And it's never too early to start learning a bit more about the process. So when the right home comes along for you, you're completely prepared. If you love this video, I'd love if you subscribe and even send it to someone who you know who's in the real estate market and looking. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.